A young bunny named Judy Hopps takes center stage at a school talent show, performing a dramatic skit about the ancient conflict between predators and prey. She explains how predators once hunted prey due to primal instincts, but times have changed, animals have evolved, and now they all live together in harmony. When the other kids talk about their simple future dreams, Judy proudly declares that she wants to become a police officer in the grand city of Zootopia. Her parents dismiss the idea, insisting it's impossible for a small bunny and encouraging her to stay on the family carrot farm instead. On her way home, Judy witnesses a fox named Gideon Gray bullying smaller animals and stealing their tickets. Though terrified, she stands up to him. Gideon scratches her across the face, but she manages to recover the stolen tickets and return them. The painful encounter only makes her more determined to chase her dream of becoming a cop. Years later, Judy enrolls in the Zootopia Police Academy. The training is brutal, and at first, she struggles with the tough physical challenges. But her persistence pays off. She studies harder, adapts to every obstacle, and eventually rises to the top of her class. At graduation, Mayor Lionheart congratulates her personally, and Judy is officially assigned to the Zootopia Police Department. Her parents, worrying for her safety, and try one last time to talk her out of it, giving her a can of fox repellent as she sets off. Judy boards the train and heads into Zootopia, where the dazzling metropolis overwhelms her with its towering buildings and diverse districts. She moves into a cramped, noisy apartment but is too excited to care. The next morning, Judy heads to the police station. At the front desk, she meets Clawhauser, a cheerful but chubby cheetah, before walking into roll call. Surrounded by giant, intimidating officers, Judy listens as Chief Bogo explains that 14 predators have mysteriously gone missing. He hands out assignments, but to Judy's disappointment, he orders her to parking duty. Judy begs for a chance to prove herself, but Bogo insists she stick to writing tickets at least 100 a day. Determined to show she can handle more, Judy sets a personal goal of 200 tickets before noon, and she succeeds. While on duty, she notices a sly-looking fox named Nick Wilde trying to buy a jumbo popsicle for his son, a small fennec fox. The elephant shopkeeper refuses to serve him, citing a no-foxes policy, until Judy threatens to report him for health code violations. Forced to comply, the shopkeeper sells the popsicle, but when Nick claims he forgot his wallet, Judy ends up paying. Later, she discovers Nick is actually a con artist. He melts the popsicle into smaller ones, sells them for profit, and even resells the sticks as redwood to construction workers. When Judy confronts him, she realizes he's technically not breaking any laws. Nick mocks her, saying her dream of being a real cop in Zootopia will never happen, and tricks her into stepping into wet cement. That night, Judy returns home disheartened. She video calls her parents, who are relieved to hear she's only a meter maid, thinking it's safer than real police work. The next day, while sulking in her patrol car, Judy sees a weasel named Duke Weaselton robbing a flower shop. She seizes the chance to prove herself and chases him through Little Rodentia, saving a small shrew from being crushed by a giant rolling donut. Judy captures Duke and brings him back to the station. Chief Bogo is furious she abandoned her post and prepares to fire her, but their meeting is interrupted by Mrs. Otterton, a desperate otter begging for help to find her missing husband, Emmett. Bogo refuses, saying all resources are tied up, but Judy volunteers. After Mrs. Otterton leaves, Bogo orders Judy to tell her she won't be working on the case. Assistant Mayor Bellwether overhears the exchange and pressures Bogo into letting Judy try, giving her 48 hours to solve the case or resign. Judy starts her investigation with Emmett's last known location, discovering he bought a popsicle from Nick Wilde. She tracks down Nick, who brushes her off, saying he needs to focus on his scams. Judy then blackmails him by recording him bragging about his illegal income and threatening to report him for tax evasion. Reluctantly, Nick agrees to help. Their first lead takes them to a naturist club, where they meet a forgetful yak named Yax. Despite his scattered memory, he provides them with useful clues, including a license plate number. To run the plate, Nick brings Judy to the DMV, only to reveal that all the clerks are sloths. The process drags on painfully, and by the time they get the information, night has already fallen. The license plate leads them to a limousine. Inside, they discover claw marks and signs of a violent struggle. Suddenly, they're captured by polar bears and taken to Mr. Big, a feared crime boss who happens to be an Arctic shrew. Nick warns Judy that Mr. Big still holds a grudge against him, but just as they're about to be executed, Mr. Big's daughter intervenes. She recognizes Judy as the rabbit who saved her earlier in Little Rodentia. Grateful, Mr. Big spares them and reveals that Emmett Otterton was his florist, who suddenly went savage during a limo ride. Mr. Big points them to Monkas, the driver of the limo. When Judy and Nick track him down, Monkas recounts how Emmett attacked him, shouting about night howlers. But before he can say more, Monkas himself suddenly goes savage and lunges at them. Judy and Nick barely escape into the rainforest district, with Monkas chasing them through the treetops. Judy calls for backup, but by the time Chief Bogo arrives, Monkas has vanished without a trace. Furious, Bogo demands Judy's resignation, but Nick stands up for her, reminding Bogo she still has 10 hours left on her deadline. Realizing Zootopia is covered with surveillance cameras, Judy seeks help from Bellwether, who grants her access to the city's traffic footage. Reviewing the tapes, Judy spots a group of wolves nicknamed Night Howlers, abducting Monkas and dragging him to a secret location. Following the trail, Judy and Nick infiltrate a hidden facility and discover all the missing predators locked up, each one in a savage state. Hiding inside a cage, they overhear Mayor Lionheart speaking with a scientist. The mayor is trying to keep the situation quiet to avoid panic, but Judy records the evidence on her phone. When her ringtone suddenly goes off, they barely manage to escape through the sewers before alerting the guards. Judy immediately contacts the ZPD, and Mayor Lionheart is arrested based on the evidence she recorded. At the press conference, Judy tells reporters that the savage behavior might be linked to predator biology. Her words spark fear across the city, fueling tension between predators and prey. Nick feels betrayed by her statement and walks away, deeply hurt. As Judy tries to follow him, she's overwhelmed by the press. In the days that follow, the city spirals into chaos. Chief Bogo informs Judy that Bellwether, now the acting mayor, wants to use her as the public face of the police department. Instead, Judy, racked with guilt over worsening the divide, resigns. She returns home to Bunny Barrow, where she helps her parents on the farm. There, she runs into Gideon Gray, the fox who bullied her as a child. To her surprise, Gideon has changed. He's now a kind-hearted baker. During a conversation, Gideon mentions night howlers, a plant known to drive animals mad when ingested. Judy realizes with shock that night howlers aren't wolves, but flowers, the very cause of the savage behavior. With this revelation, Judy races back to Zootopia. She finds Nick under a bridge, apologizes through tears, and explains everything. Nick records her confession, but then forgives her, agreeing to help finish the case. Together, they track down Duke Weaselton, the small-time crook Judy had arrested earlier. At first, he refuses to talk, but Mr. Big intervenes and forces him to reveal that the night howlers are being processed into a serum. Judy and Nick follow the trail to a train car functioning as a secret lab. Inside, sheep scientists are producing weaponized night howler pellets. When the two burst in, the sheep panic. Judy and Nick fight to seize the evidence, loading the train with canisters of the serum. The sheep attempt to stop them, but Judy cleverly fends them off, steering the train car until it derails and explodes. Nick manages to grab a case of the evidence before it's destroyed. They carry the case to the museum, but Assistant Mayor Bellwether suddenly appears with her guards. Judy quickly realizes Bellwether has been the mastermind all along, orchestrating the panic to pit prey against predators and seize power. She orders her henchmen to capture Judy and Nick. In the struggle, Judy injures her leg. Bellwether corners them in a diorama exhibit and shoots Nick with a night howler pellet. Nick growls, his eyes narrowing as if he's turning savage, and he lunges at Judy. Bellwether watches, triumphant, believing her plan has succeeded. But then Nick stops. The pellet was swapped with blueberries. The attack was staged. Judy reveals she secretly recorded Bellwether's entire confession. As Bellwether desperately tries to cover her tracks, Chief Bogo and the ZPD arrive with the evidence in hand. Bellwether is arrested, her plot fully exposed, peace is gradually restored to Zootopia. Judy returns to active duty as a respected police officer. At the academy graduation ceremony, Nick Wilde proudly steps forward. He has officially become the first Fox police officer in Zootopia. Assigned as Judy's partner, the two head out on patrol together. Their first call is to stop a speeding driver, who turns out to be none other than Flash the Sloth, grinning behind the wheel as the chase begins.